Grace Augustine. Grace Augustine's death is quiet compared to the chaos around her. After being shot by Colonel Quaritch, she is rushed back to the Na'vi and connected to her avatar body in a desperate attempt to save her. The Na'vi gather at the Tree of Souls, forming a circle and praying as Grace fades in the human world. For a moment it seems Eywa might intervene, but her injuries are too severe. Her breathing slows, her voice weakens, and then she is gone. Grace dies between two worlds, never fully belonging to either. Her death pushes Jake to fully commit to Pandora, and later leads to the birth of Kiri, whose connection to Eywa becomes something far greater. Eytukan. Eytukan's death marks the moment the conflict on Pandora becomes a full-scale war. As the Omaticaya clan prepares to defend Hometree, Eytukan stands at the front, refusing to abandon his people. When the RDA launches its assault, gunships open fire without hesitation. Missiles slam into the massive tree, sending fire and debris everywhere. Eytukan leads his warriors through the chaos. Then a burst of gunfire hits him directly in the chest. He collapses to the forest floor, mortally wounded. Neytiri rushes to him. She holds him as his life fades away. There's no time for words. The battle rages on around them. Eytukan dies protecting his home, becoming one of the first major Na'vi leaders to fall in the war against the Sky People. Trudy Chacón. Trudy's death comes during the final battle when she decides to switch sides. Realizing the RDA's mission is wrong, she takes her gunship into combat to defend the Na'vi. She attacks Quaritch's forces head-on, firing missiles and drawing enemy fire away from the ground troops. Her ship is hit repeatedly and loses control. In her final moments, Trudy aims straight at Quaritch's aircraft and opens fire. Both ships explode mid-air in a massive fireball. She dies instantly. Her sacrifice turns the tide of the battle and proves that not all humans came to Pandora as conquerors. Some chose to fight for it. The Tsahìk. The Tsahìk's death represents the cost paid by Pandora's most peaceful clans. Previously captured and interrogated by Quaritch, she returns to stand with the resistance, despite her people's pacifist beliefs. During the battle at the Cove of the Ancestors, she helps coordinate evacuations and spiritual defenses as fighting erupts around her. Amid the chaos, she is struck down off-screen. Her death is confirmed later. When Kiri and Spider connect to the spirit tree, her spirit appears beside Ronal's, silent, steady, at peace. The Tsahìk dies defending a future she never wanted to fight for, sacrificing herself so her people would not be erased. Her loss confirms that even the gentlest voices were not spared by the war. Captain Mick Scoresby. Captain Scoresby's death is brutal and ironic. Obsessed with hunting Tulkun for profit, he returns to the battlefield more ruthless than ever, armed with a mechanical prosthetic and a larger ship. During the naval clash, Scoresby pursues fleeing Tulkun without caution. His vessel is damaged, leaving him exposed on deck. Suddenly, Tsahìk attacks. The massive Tulkun smashes into the ship, grabbing Scoresby and dragging him into the water. He struggles helplessly as he is pulled beneath the surface. His death is violent and terrifying. Scoresby drowns in the depths of the ocean, killed by the very creature he hunted for profit. His end is swift and final, closing his story in the most unforgiving way possible. General Francis Ardmore. General Ardmore's death signals the collapse of the RDA's military command. From the bridge of her flagship, she oversees the assault on Pandora, confident in human technology and firepower. As Sully leads a coordinated counterattack, Pandora responds. Massive magnetic disturbances destabilize the RDA fleet. The flagship begins tearing itself apart. Systems fail, the ship loses control. Ardmore remains on the bridge as the structure buckles around her. Before evacuation is possible, the command deck is ripped open and the vessel crashes. Ardmore is killed instantly in the destruction. Her death proves that control, planning, and advanced weapons mean nothing against the planet itself. Pandora does not negotiate, it destroys. Rotxo. Rotxo's death marks the loss of innocence for Pandora's younger generation. Throughout the conflict, he fights alongside Anung, Tsu'tey, and the Sully children, refusing to stay behind while war closes in. During the final battle, Rotxo helps evacuate wounded fighters as Ash people and RDA forces overwhelm the area. When enemies break through the defensive line, he stays behind to buy time for his friends to escape. Outnumbered and cornered, Rotxo is struck down in the fighting. He falls before help can reach him. His death happens quickly without ceremony. Loak and Soraya witness the aftermath, realizing too late that bravery is not always enough. Rotxo dies protecting others, becoming one of the youngest casualties of the war. Tsu'tey. Tsu'tey's death is slow, painful, and deeply personal. During the battle for the Tree of Souls, he leads the Na'vi charge against the human forces. Amid explosions and falling aircraft, he is struck by gunfire and badly wounded. Later, Jake finds Tsu'tey barely alive, pinned and unable to move. He knows he will not survive. Too weak to stand and too proud to beg, Tsu'tey asks Jake for an honorable death. Jake hesitates, but ultimately grants his request. Using a knife, he ends Tsu'tey's suffering. Tsu'tey dies as a warrior, finally accepting Jake as Toruk Makto. His death represents the old ways giving way to a new leader, born through loss and bloodshed. Colonel Miles Quaritch. Quaritch's death is brutal and fitting. During the final confrontation, he corners Jake inside the wreckage of his AMP suit. The two fight hand-to-hand, exhausted and bleeding. Just as Quaritch is about to kill Jake, Neytiri appears from the shadows. Without hesitation, she fires 2 arrows straight into Quaritch's chest. He gasps, stunned, and collapses. Quaritch dies on Pandora, defeated by the very people he tried to wipe out. Though his story does not end there, his human death marks the fall of the RDA's most ruthless enforcer. Neteyam. Neteyam's death is the most heartbreaking moment of the Way of Water. During a rescue attempt to save his siblings, Neteyam is shot while holding a wounded enemy. The bullet passes through his chest. At first he stays standing, trying to push through the pain. But the damage is fatal. Jake and Neytiri reach him too late. Neteyam collapses in his father's arms, struggling to breathe. Neytiri screams as they realize he is dying. Neteyam's life fades away quietly, surrounded by his family. His death shatters the Sully family and permanently changes Jake's approach to the war. From this moment on, the conflict becomes personal. Ronal. Ronal's death is one of the most painful moments in Avatar: Fire and Ash. Already heavily pregnant, the Metkayina Tsahìk rides into the final battle to defend her people against the RDA and the Ash people. The fight is brutal. Explosions tear through the water and shoreline as Ronal continues fighting despite being injured. During the chaos, she suffers a fatal wound, but refuses to retreat. When the battle ends, Ronal collapses. Surrounded by survivors, she goes into labor. Against all odds, she gives birth to a healthy daughter. Knowing she is dying, Ronal places the child in Neytiri's arms. Moments later, her life fades away. Ronal dies protecting her people and ensuring her child survives, leaving the Metkayina without their spiritual leader. These deaths are not just moments of loss. They are the scars of Pandora's history. Each life taken marks a turning point, not only in the war against the Sky People, but in the souls of those who survive it. How many more lives will Pandora lose before the war finally ends?